All right, today we're going to talk about a device that, let's be honest, a lot of people just write off. But what if I told you it's secretly one of the most versatile computers you can buy? Let's dive in and uncover the surprising power of the Chromebook. So, when you think of a Chromebook, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably Google Chrome, a handful of web apps, and not a whole lot else, am I right? It's a really common assumption. And for a good while there, it was pretty much true. But the Chromebook of today? Oh, it's a completely different machine. That simple idea has evolved into something, well, something far more capable. Yeah, that whole browser-in-a-box idea is probably the biggest misconception holding Chromebooks back. See, we've been taught to think that power comes from the hardware specs, and a traditional desktop operating system. But here's the secret sauce. The real power of a modern Chromebook isn't really about the hardware inside. Nope. It's about its unique ability to tap into 4 different, really powerful software ecosystems, all at once. So let's break down this hidden power. I like to think of it as 4 pillars, and each one gives you a totally different set of tools that completely transforms what a Chromebook can actually do. So check this out. First, you've got your web apps and PWAs. These are basically websites that you can install so they feel just like native apps, super fast and always up to date. Then, pillar number 2, you get the entire Google Play Store with millions of Android apps. Third, and this one is a total game changer for power users, you get the whole world of Linux apps, which lets you run full-on desktop software. And finally, you have Chrome extensions, which supercharge the browser itself. Okay, so that's the theory. That's the framework. But what does it actually mean for getting real work done? Let's take a look at how these pillars can upgrade your everyday tasks, starting with stuff like office work and taking notes. So you need a serious office suite, right? On a traditional desktop, you'd probably just install Microsoft Office and call it a day. Well, on a Chromebook, you actually have choices that pull from these different pillars. You can run the full open-source LibreOffice suite using Linux, or you can just use the fantastic web versions of Google Docs or even Microsoft 365. You've got all this flexibility. And this right here, this perfectly illustrates a modern workflow. I saw a user on Reddit who called themselves a huge tech nerd who was constantly jumping between different operating systems. For someone like that, these web-first apps like Obsidian, Notion, or UpNote are just perfect. They run beautifully as web apps on a Chromebook and then sync perfectly with their native versions on every other gadget they own. And of course, we can't forget that 4th pillar. Chrome extensions can totally streamline how you work. You can manage your projects with something like Todoist, instantly clean up a crazy mess of browser tabs with one tab, keep your login secure with Bitwarden, and check all your writing with Grammarly, all without ever having to leave your browser. But here's where it gets really interesting. You don't actually have to use all 4 pillars at once. Another user on Reddit pointed out that by just disabling the Android app system, they got a really noticeable boost in performance and battery life. This just goes to show you the real power is in the customization. You get to choose which ecosystems you actually need. Okay, so Chromebooks are productive, I get it, but there's no way they can handle demanding creative work, right? Well, this is where that Linux pillar in particular really gets to shine. Let's just tackle the biggest question head-on. Can it run Photoshop? And the answer is actually more interesting than a simple yes or no. Through Linux, you can install GIMP, which is an incredibly powerful and free desktop class editor. Or you could use the web pillar to run amazing browser-based tools like Photopea or even Adobe's own official Photoshop on the web. And it is not just photo editing. Need a professional vector graphics editor that can go toe-to-toe with Adobe Illustrator? You've got Inkscape. Need to record and edit multi-track audio like a pro? You've got Audacity. Both of these are legendary open-source programs, and both run directly on your Chromebook, all thanks to that Linux pillar. Now, video editing is where the magic of combining all these ecosystems really comes alive. It's awesome. You want a traditional, feature-packed desktop editor? Go ahead and install Kdenlive or OpenShot through Linux. Do you prefer a fast, touch-friendly mobile workflow? Just grab PowerDirector or KineMaster from the Android Play Store. Or maybe you're working with a team? Then use a collaborative, cloud-based editor like Kapwing right in your browser. The choice is completely yours. So, a Chromebook can definitely handle your daily work and even your creative projects. But how far can we really push this thing? Let's get into some pro tips for all you power users out there. So, believe it or not, through that same Linux environment, you can install the full desktop version of Steam and play a ton of PC games. Are you a developer? You can run Visual Studio Code, one of the most popular code editors on the planet, just like you would on a Windows machine or a Mac. But you might notice that some of these heavy-duty Linux apps don't feel quite as snappy as you'd expect. Why is that? Well, it's because of something called virtualization overhead. Basically, your Linux apps run in a secure little sandbox, which is fantastic for safety, but it can create a bit of a bottleneck for graphics performance. But don't worry, there is a fix, and it's a super simple trick to unlock that power. Just go to the chrome.flags page, search for Crostini GPU support, and flip it from default to enabled. After a quick restart, boom! You've just given your Linux apps direct access to the graphics hardware, which often gives you a massive performance boost in games and creative software. And hey, here's one more tip for the road. Buried in that same flags menu, there's an option called #cross-battery-saver. If you enable that, you'll get a manual toggle for battery saver mode right in your settings. This means you get to decide when to limit background stuff and screen brightness, letting you stretch your battery for hours longer, say on a long flight or just a really busy day. So when you really look at a Chromebook, a device that can seamlessly run web apps, Android apps, and full desktop Linux apps all at the same time, you just have to ask yourself, is this really just a simple browser? Or is it maybe a glimpse into the future of computing? A future where the lines between operating systems finally just blur away and all that matters is getting your stuff done.